Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. AITA for refusing to comfort my daughter after telling my husband I was emotionally burnt out. My husband, 27-year-old male, and I have been married for 6 years and have a 2-year-old daughter. Since she was born in December of this year, I have acted as the primary caregiver, serving as a stay-at-home mom while he is at work. After talking it over with him, we decided that we can no longer afford to keep this set up, so I'm returning to work. It should be noted that this is a work-from-home opportunity. Due to the nature of my job, which is full-time, and the fact that I will still be partially responsible for our daughter, I made it clear to him that he would need to start assisting me, whether it be around the house with chores or even cooking dinner on occasion, which I've been doing all of this alone for almost 2 years. Tonight was the straw that broke the camel's back, as the saying goes. I had prepared supper and requested my husband to bathe our child so that I could relax, finish eating, and have a few minutes to myself. He began the bath and, after a few seconds, texted me to ask if I could come finish it with her, meaning scrub her, rinse her, dry her, and dress her, so that he wouldn't leave her in the tub alone. I agreed. I finally give up and leave her to complete her bath. As soon as I finished my turn in the shower, I was instructed to get out of there so that I could get her to bed. It is his argument that she prefers me that prevents him from putting her to bed. Sorry for taking so long to write this. So I hurry up and get her into bed, and I am weary. She had been unwell for the previous week, and I am now suffering from a little cold. So I'm attempting to get ready for bed when he stumbles into the room, accompanied by our 2 dogs. When I inquired as to who would be responsible for taking them out in the morning, since I did not want to scrub dog urine out of the carpet, he said that you'll be cleaning pee out of the carpet anyway. When I inquired as to what he was referring to, he stormed out of the room and slept on the sofa next to me. I had reached the bottom of my well at that time and was unable to sleep any longer. I get out of bed and prepare a cup of milk for my kid, knowing she will need it later in the night. While doing so, I pass him the living room, and he inquires as to my well-being. I tell him no, that I was mentally exhausted and burned out at the time. I start cleaning as soon as I wake up unless I'm going to sleep. When the toddler wakes up from her nap, she begins to cry and demands that I hold her and put her back down. When I'm having a meltdown, though, I can't bear being touched. It's not her fault, believe me, so I give it a go. I attempt to put her back down, but I am unable to do it psychologically. As a result, she stays up all night weeping. I attempt to comfort her, but I'm simply psychologically drained at the moment. My husband becomes enraged when she begins to scream, since it is now midnight, and he tells me that I am an idiot because I'm incapable of caring for her, and he needs to be up for work at 4:30 a.m. Before slamming the door in my face, he urges me not to bother coming to bed at all. So, AITA, you're to blame for not looking after my baby when my husband had to report to work early. To those who think it's crazy for me to be touched out or burnt out, there are a handful. We all have different plates. My plate might not be as big as yours. It also could be made differently. You might have a stone dinner plate, and I have a foam salad plate. Some days I have a stone plate as well, but some days I have that foam dessert plate. I have PTSD from childhood trauma. I have been formally diagnosed with depression and anxiety. When touched out, I will get physically ill, be it hives, a nose bleeds, or even straight-up vomiting. I have pushed as far as I can when it comes to comforting my daughter, but I feel like I shouldn't have to make myself ill when her dad is just as capable of comforting our daughter. I'm not saying I want him to take over the moment he comes home, but I would like to be able to shower when I want. I want to eat my food hot. I want to be able to lay down and not feel anything on my but my clothing and blankets. I want time to decompress, even just 20 minutes, so that I can mentally get back in a good place to smile and make sure my daughter understands that mom isn't perfect, but I'm trying. These were addressed in our talk. Thank you everyone for the support. I was so emotionally drained I couldn't even be mad or cry last night/early this morning. I did end up crying a little at the support I found here, and it felt nice to know that I wasn't alone, and it was people I will probably never meet who came to comfort me. Update 1. Update 11/5. We have talked. He has agreed to both individual and couple therapy. We have a chore chart worked out as well. After our talk, he took LO into her room to play, and I went to the master bedroom and took a glorious 3-hour nap. Those alone naps, marked as mom alone time, are also on the calendar every week, so he will remember that I need them until I am back to 100%, and I will continue to mark them until they become second nature to him. Our office has been renamed the decompression room, and if one of us is in there, after an hour or so the other will do a mental health check. You also have a place in the living room to display my energy level with the spoon theory. That way if I fail to properly communicate how I am in terms of burnout, he can see it. He also has a spoon cup so that I can do the same. Story 2. AITA for giving my stepson's room to my daughter. I'll try to keep this short. I've been married to my wife for over a year now, have a stepson 14M, and a biological daughter 9F. When we married, my wife and I agreed that I would sell my house and move into hers because there's more living space. Stepson already had his own room, so my daughter got the extra bedroom, which is smaller than his. It was fine at first, but my daughter has a lot of stuff, and soon it became too small, cramped for her. Stepson also only lives with us part-time, 5 days with us, 9 days with bio dad, and has a huge room at his dad's. My daughter lives with us full-time, so this is her only room. It seemed to me that the logical thing would be for my daughter to have the larger room since she has more stuff and spends all of her time here. Wife was hesitant at first and felt like my stepson would be upset and feel like he's being pushed aside. But I convinced her that my daughter needed the space more, so she ultimately agreed. We ended up switching rooms this week, freshly painted them, and my wife did some shopping for stepson's new room so he feels special. He came home from his dad's and we surprised him with his new room. He reacted okay, thanked us for the new stuff, and didn't seem upset at first. But now he's been moping and has been cold to all of us. Wife is now regretting our choice and upset at me for convincing her that it would be fine. Update. It was undoubtedly decided that I was TA, and I accept that. Thank you to everyone who gave feedback and advice on how to mend the situation that I created. My wife and I sat down with my stepson and apologized, admitted that we messed up and would do what we can to rectify the mistake. I made sure he was aware that it was my idea so he doesn't harbor ill feelings toward his mom. We actually found out that he was more upset than he let on and had cried to his bio dad about it. His dad offered to come pick him up and take him back to his house, but stepson declined and wanted to stay with us for the remainder of his visitation, so he seems to be feeling better now. We're giving him his room back, and my wife and I are moving into the smaller bedroom so both kids are happy. He'll be involved in the entire process and is going to be in charge of redecorating according to his liking. They're already shopping around online and he seems excited. He's staying with us for a few extra days so we can repaint and make the room switch ASAP. My daughter understands and is perfectly fine with the switch as well. Obviously, there will be no more surprises in the future. We'll be discussing every decision with him from now on, and I'll be stepping back to let my wife make the decisions regarding her son. To clarify a few things, the reason my daughter needed more space is because she has more toys and larger items, play kitchen, dollhouses, etc., and not enough floor space to play. Stepson obviously doesn't play with toys. She also has a larger wardrobe since she's here full-time. To be fair, my daughter never asked for the rooms to be switched, so she's innocent in this. My intentions weren't to hurt my stepson. I was going off of logic, but realized that I was careless and inconsiderate, and have apologized for that. Hindsight is 20/20, and I know now that I wasn't. I do care about him and wouldn't purposely hurt him, though. I was not trying to drive a wedge between my wife and her son for those that made those accusations. I was wrong for convincing my wife to go along with this and acted carelessly, but there was no underlying malicious intent, and I have no reason to sabotage their relationship. Thanks again to everyone who gave advice and helped me see things from another point of view. I'll do better in the future.